Hey, what's going on, guys? We're live. We got a lot to talk about here. 11 games. So let's not waste any time. Let me just tweet out I'm live. And okay, yeah. As always, again, we'll go over what we know so far. We can look at the over/unders and spreads again. Then we can get to players and their prices and questions at the end. So Marvin Williams got ruled out. That's I guess a little bit significant, right? Like Zeller and Biyombo are viable plays, but now with Giannis out, there's just a lot I like here on the Milwaukee side. Again, Giannis is out for this game. That's huge news, right? Changes the slate completely from when I was making the video last night. Now I just love Bledsoe and Middleton. I want to load up on at least $2 or $3, right? And then I feel comfortable running it back with the Pelicans. That game in general, I want a lot of exposure to. Derek Favors got ruled out. Somewhat surprising, but we kind of like to Okafor or Jackson Hayes. Kuzma got ruled out. Honestly, not a huge deal as far as Lakers go. Let's see. The Chicago guys, looks like everyone's good to go there. Marcus Smart ruled out. Again, not a huge deal in my opinion. A slight bump to some of those other Boston guys. Markelle Fultz did get ruled out. DJ Augustin will start in his place. Honestly, doesn't do a whole lot for me. I think Augustin maybe plays a few extra minutes, but really I think the biggest bump goes to MCW. All in all, though, it's a bad spot. I just think there's better ways to go than target DJ Augustin there. Fred VanVleet did get ruled out, so that's pretty significant. We can go right back to the well with Kyle Lowry or Norman Powell. I think the ownership's going to drop significantly on Kyle Lowry, but I still like him at that price at 7.1K, good amount. Let's see. Other option or other news. Pacers, that's the same starting lineup. Celtics, that's what I started last game. Batum rolled out. Not really a huge deal, to be honest. Raptors, again, Lowry and Powell. Powell starting for Fred VanVleet. Other starters are the same with OG, Siakam, and Gasol. That's what we got right now for starting lineups or for news. Let me refresh this on Bovada. Let's get some up-to-date over-unders and spreads. Let's see. All right, so Boston, Indiana right now sitting at 211.5. Looks like it's a pick'em. Rockets, Cavs at 228.5. The Rockets favored by 12 points. Obviously some blowout risk there. Clippers, Raptors 221.5. The Clippers are favored by 3 points. Lakers, Magic at 212.5. The Lakers are favored by 9. Hornets, Nets 216.5. The Nets are favored by 10 points. Hawks, Bulls 221. The Bulls are favored by 7. Jazz, T-Wolves 221.5. The Jazz are favored by 1.5 points. Grizzlies, Suns 230.5. The Suns are favored by 7.5. Pelicans, Bucks 232. Bucks are still favored by 10. I don't know. I feel more confident now targeting those Pelicans guys with no Giannis for sure. Again, that is, I think, the highest over-under of the day, too, as well. So I want a lot of exposure to this game. Thunder, Kings, 207.5. The Kings are favored by 1.5. And the late night ham here, Knicks, Warriors at 211. The Golden State Warriors are by 5.5 points. So let's go team by team here, as always. Start with the first game here with the Clippers and the Raptors. So, the Clippers here, with, the big four here, kind of with Kawhi, Paul George, Montrez, and Lou, all, I think, are decent options, right? No one really stands out as a great play. You got a little revenge game narrative for Kawhi here at 8.7. I don't know if that, you're a big revenge game narrative guy, but, he is, coming back to Toronto for the first time. Paul George, Montrez, Lou all seem okay priced. I think my favorite of these guys would be probably Kawhi in the revenge game or Lou Williams for that price, but I'm not, going out of my way to try and plug in a lot of these Clippers guys, right? I think they're okay plays. They just don't stand out as, amazing plays for me, at least on this 11-game slate. The secondary pieces like Beverly and Zubac, not really for me here against Toronto. So, yeah, the Clippers' big four, those four guys don't really have an issue if you want to go there. I'm just not going out of my way to play them. Now, if we go to the Raptors side, I like the Raptors a little bit more here. This game means a lot for guys like Siakam and Lowry, with Kawhi coming back there. I like Kyle Lowry a good amount at this price. I think he's a really safe option. He had one of his worst games in the game against Chicago. It was a really, really slow-paced game, too, 93-92. In 39 minutes, shot the ball 3 of 15, still put up 31 fantasy points. This game, it's going to be played at a fast pace, right? It's sitting at 221.5 over-under. It should be close. I know Beverly's a good defender. I know that, but doesn't really bother me. I think he stands out as a safe option just because we know the minutes will be there. No Fred VanVleet. There is usage to go around. So I think Kyle Lowry stands out as a pretty solid cash game play there at 7.1K. Again, don't mind Siakam either at 8K. Another guy who we know the minutes are going to be huge for him. So don't mind Siakam. I think I would prefer Lowry there for a little bit less. And then, Gasol and Ibaka, not really looking there. I don't mind a guy like Norman Powell here at 5.2K going to start. Probably get to around 30 or so minutes, maybe a little bit more. He gets definitely a big boost with no Fred VanVleet, so don't mind him there at that price. OG as well gets a little bit of a boost, right? Played 35 and 37 minutes the last couple games, so he's viable as well. The cheap guys don't really want to touch him here, so yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at here for Toronto. Really, I think Kyle Lowry stands out as a pretty safe cash game option, honestly, just because we know he's going to play about 40 minutes. He's a guy that fills up the stat sheet, and if he's knocking down shots, he does have 40, even 50 fans to an upside. So I do like Kyle Lowry a good amount there at that price. So that's kind of what I got here for Toronto. Boston and Indiana. Not a whole lot sticks off the page for me for Boston. I know Marcus Smart is out. Hayward, Brown, Tatum, Kemba Walker, all have been playing pretty good. Kemba, Tatum, Brown. I know Hayward is only a second game back from injury. But those guys have been really consistent. They're playing big minutes. Again, for their level of production, they seem a little bit too cheap. Now, am I going to go there on the slate? I'm not. But I'm not going to talk you off them if you want to go with some of these Boston guys. I just think there's probably better plays. So that's kind of what I got for Boston. Honestly, not a whole lot that really sticks off as a great play. On the Pacers side, I still like my boy Sabonis here at 8.2K. Another kind of situation with Lowry, right? Like Lowry, it's not necessarily the best spot, but we know he's going to play 40 minutes. We know it's an up-tempo game. This is kind of the same thing with Sabonis. It's not necessarily the best matchup here, but we know he's going to get 35 minutes. We know he's basically going to get us a double-double. I just think he stands out as a pretty safe cash game option as well. So, I like Sabonis for cash a good amount. I like Lowry for cash a good amount. Brogdon, you could go there. I think I would prefer Sabonis for an extra 1,000, but don't hate Brogdon. The secondary pieces with Lamb, Warren, Turner, not for me against Boston. So really my main interest here is Sabonis. I think he's a pretty safe option right now for at that price. Lakers and Magic. So this game in general just honestly doesn't do a whole lot for me. LeBron and AD are perfectly fine, just not going to be the way that I go. My builds right now are all about the Pelicans Bucks game. So the guys way up top are just not really fitting my build right now. It's not necessarily the best spot for LeBron and AD. Their prices are fair. I get it if you want to go with one of them. If you're going to make me choose between those two, I think I like the upside a little bit more with Anthony Davis. But as of right now, not really touching the Lakers guys. Rondo, questionable. If he misses, Caruso could be a viable cheap option. But I just think right now there's probably better, cheaper options with some of those Bucks guys. And that's kind of what I got here for the Lakers. Yeah, all in all, not a whole lot really that I like. Kind of the same thing on the Magic side. Gordon, Fournier, Isaac. There's no Markelle Fultz, which is, I guess, a little bit significant, right? He plays about 30 minutes a game. Those minutes have to go somewhere. I think Augustine, I don't think he's going to play, he was already playing decent minutes, so I don't think Augustine's going to go out and play 40 minutes. I think DJ Augustine now gets maybe closer to 30, like what Markelle Fultz is getting, so I don't really think it's a huge boost. It's a tough matchup. Not really for me. I think the guy that gets actually the biggest minutes bump is a guy like Michael Carter-Williams, who probably gets around 25 minutes. You could take a shot there as a value play, right? He's a guy that does fill up the stat sheet. Don't hate that, but that's really what I got. Again, if you're going to make me choose a Magic guy, I guess it would be MCW. I think he gets the biggest minutes bump personally. I really don't think DJ Augustine comes out and plays 35 minutes. But everyone else, it's just one of the worst spots here against the Lakers. They're really, really solid defensively. So Isaac, Fournier, and Gordon in the mid-range, not really for me. Houston and Cleveland, another game. It's going to be played at a fast pace, but I have no trust in Cleveland keeping this close. Absolutely no trust. If you do, then you can definitely play some of these guys. On the 11-game slate, at least for cash games, I will not be touching this game. Harden, Westbrook, Capella are all fine plays, right? If the game somehow stays close, one of those guys could probably get you there, but I just have no trust right now that this game stays close. So I will be avoiding the Rockets and cash games. For GPPs, sure. Harden at that price is probably going to be 1% owned. And maybe the off chance his game stays close, he can put up like 70 to 80. But that's what I got, really. I will not be touching anyone here on the Houston side. Kind of the same thing with the Cavs. Kevin Love, I don't mind that price. It's an up-tempo game. I just have no faith. Detroit blowout, Philly blowout, Boston blowout. Houston's a pretty solid team. I really don't have any faith this game stays close. If it somehow does, Kevin Love probably does have a good game. But again, cash games, I can't go there. For GPPs, you could look there. Again, this is a really risky option. Tristan Thompson, again, kind of the same thing. Him and Love, if you want to take shots there in GPPs, I don't hate that idea. You got to hope that Cleveland somehow can keep it close. I really don't see it happening. Also, I thought I'd bring up C.D. Osman. He is a starter here, and he's 3.3K. He's been absolutely terrible the last couple of games with 3 and 8 fantasy points. But I think he gets 25 minutes in a blowout and maybe closer to 30 in a close game. And at that price, he doesn't have to do a whole lot to up-tempo games. So I don't hate the idea of going C.D. Osman there at 3.3K. But that's really what I got here for the Cavs. If you want to get really risky, again, you could take like shots on some of those bench guys. Maybe like a Clarkson gets a little extra run in a blowout, or Kevin Porter Jr. But I just don't think we have to go there for cash games at least. As far as Charlotte and Brooklyn, this is a pretty interesting game. I think it goes pretty low owned on this slate, but there are some interesting pieces here. Like Devontae Graham and Rozier at the top. Again, it was my same analysis with Washington. We know they're going to play big minutes, about 35 in a close game. This is another really good spot here against Brooklyn, so I don't have an issue going Rozier and Graham. I don't think they're cash game plays, but I do have some interest there for GPPs. The secondary pieces with Washington, Bridges, not really for me. With no Marvin Williams, Biyombo and Cody Zeller do intrigue me. Cody Zeller got into some foul trouble, actually only played 22 minutes. I think he probably would have got closer to 25 if he stayed out of foul trouble. Brooklyn always has a traditional center on the court, whether it be Jarrett Allen or DeAndre Jordan. So I think Cody Zeller and Biyombo will be splitting the 48 minutes at the center position. And at their prices, I actually think they're very much in play here. So those guys are actually viable cheap options with Zeller 4.6 and Biyombo at 3.7. I like the upside a little bit more with Cody Zeller, but again, you're kind of paying $1,000 more. So that's really what I got here for the Charlotte side. Really, Graham and Rozier for GPPs. Zeller and Biyombo, I think you could go there for cash. Again, I think they split the center minutes evenly, and it's a pretty good spot. So yeah, Zeller, Biyombo, I think are viable cheap options for sure. On the Brooklyn side, it's Dinwiddie, really. That's the only one I'm kind of considering here, at least on the Brooklyn side of things. He's going to play about 35 minutes in a close game. This is an up-tempo game. Charlotte, not the best defensive team, and he's their go-to guy. He's been pretty consistent, right? 45, 40, 38, 39. So I think he's a solid option here, even with a little bit of upside when he's playing well, right? He does have even 60 fantasy point upside. So I think Dinwiddie very much in play. Jarrett Allen, only for GPPs. It is a good spot, but again, he has DeAndre Jordan behind him, and if he gets in foul trouble or is not playing well, they will extend those minutes to DeAndre Jordan, right? He only saw 22 in the game against Charlotte, so there is some risk here. I think his upside is pretty big if he can stay out of foul trouble. If he gets 30 minutes against Charlotte, I think he can definitely get you like 40, maybe even 50, so I think he is a GPP-only option. Kind of the same thing with DeAndre Jordan, right? They just split the minutes evenly. If he's playing well, like he did against Charlotte, he will get about 25 or so minutes. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts here for Brooklyn. It's Dinwiddie for cash or GPPs, and it's the two bigs there only for GPPs because the minutes are pretty up and down. Let's move on to Utah and Minnesota. So there is a good amount to like here in Utah. On the Utah side of things, this is a very up-tempo game. Minnesota, one of the worst defensive teams in the league that play at a fast pace. So really, the guys I'm interested in here are Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, and Joe Ingles. Gobert at 7.7, I think he probably gets 35 minutes if he stays out of foul trouble, and they're going to need him to guard Cat, so I think he's a viable option there in the mid-range. I like Donovan Mitchell. If No Conley does get a little bit of a boost there, and he's another guy that will play about 35 minutes. This is an up-tempo game, so I like him. Also like Joe Ingles. He's a guy that will get probably over 30 minutes. He fills up the stat sheet, right? Doesn't necessarily have to score. Will get you their assists, rebounds. So those are kind of the three that I'm interested in. I think they're all stand out. It's pretty solid plays. Bojan Bogdanovic, just too scoring dependent for my liking. The upside is there, but I just can't do it for cash games. I can't recommend it. And the cheap guys, I don't think we have to do it. Like Royce O'Neal, Jeff Green. Yeah, I think I'll pass. So really my main interest here is Donovan Mitchell, is Rudy Gobert, and Joe Ingles. I think they stand out as pretty solid plays here. On the Minnesota side, there's not a whole lot I like. Cat is a guy that's been talked about a little bit. I think he had a good game against Gobert early in the season. Yeah, he had 63 against Utah. I get it if you want to go there. It's just right now my builds, I'm building a lot around the mid-tier guys. With Bledsoe, with Middleton, with some of those guys in the 7 to 8K range. So I'm not really going too top-heavy here. So Cat doesn't really fit my builds. It is a tougher spot. Like Utah is pretty solid defensively. I know he had a good game the last time out, but I wouldn't go out of my way to get him. I think if you land on him, it's fine. Probably not for me. And then the secondary pieces are a fade for sure here. With Wiggins, Teague, Covington, Culver, it's a really tough spot. I think Teague is game time decision. He's been questionable the last few games, so I assume he's going to be good to go. If he somehow does get ruled out, you could look to a guy like Shabazz Napier, who I think probably gets extended like 25 or so minutes, and then would become a really, really good value play. Or they could start, they have started Wiggins at the point too. So, yeah, all in all, on the Minnesota side, not a lot that I'm super excited about. Let's see, last 5 games here. So Hawks and Bulls. On the Atlanta side, kind of the same thing as yesterday. I'm not super excited about a lot. It is a back-to-back, and they did play an overtime game, so that's also worrisome. Trae Young on 10.3K. I just can't do it on this slate. Jabari, don't mind him, but again, the overtime, the back-to-back, I think there's better options personally. The 2 centers, maybe Damian Jones, but they have Len. They'll give Fernando a little bit of run. I just don't feel great about that either. DeAndre Hunter did have a good game. That last game, 40 minutes, 42 fantasy points. I think he's an okay option. I would not expect 40 fantasy points from him again, but at 4.3K, doesn't have to do a whole lot to get you there. So, yeah, I don't mind him. He's been a bit inconsistent. I don't feel great about it, but I think he is playable there at that price, and that's kind of what I got here for Atlanta. On the Chicago side, there are some interesting things here. Levine at the top, we know he's going to play big minutes. He's going to shoot the ball a ton. With that we know. This is a really up-tempo game here against Atlanta. So I have no issue if you want to go Levine there at 7.9K. I do like his upside. Wendell Carter Jr. and Markkanen are fine plays as well at 6.4 and 6.3. They've been playing really consistent minutes. A guy like Satoransky, I do have some interest here for GPPs. Right, if he's playing well, he will get extended to like 30-plus minutes. Again, this is an up-tempo game. He's been a bit up and down as well, but his upside is he can get you like 40 fantasy points if he's playing really well. So I think only for GPPs there. Kind of same thing with Dunn. His minutes are a bit up and down. Kobe White, he's played 32 and 30 minutes the last couple of games, so don't hate him as a value play. The 2 games before that, only 22 and 19. So I don't know if we can expect him to play 30-plus minutes every single night. But at 4.3K, he doesn't have to do a whole lot to get you there. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Thad Young at 3.5, don't hate that either. But yeah, all in all, the Bulls are in a pretty good spot. Again, it's a back-to-back for Atlanta. So have no issue if you want to go with any of these guys, really, on the Bulls. I think, Levine, Carter Jr., and Markkanen at the top. I think Satoransky, Dunn, and White for GPPs just because their minutes are a bit up and down. That's kind of what I got for Chicago. On the Memphis-Phoenix side, so Jonas Valanciunas at 7K only for GPPs. He's a bit up and down. We know the upside is there though when he's playing well, so I can't do it for cash games, but for GPPs, don't mind that. John Morant, I kind of like him here. He'll get 30 to 35 minutes in a close game. This is a very up-tempo game against Phoenix, so yeah, I think he's a little bit underpriced. No issue if you want to go John Morant. These secondary pieces are not for me here. With Jaren Jackson Jr., Crowder, Brooks, I think there's better ways to go. We're at Clark back. We got Kyle Anderson back. So the secondary pieces are a fade for me on Memphis. On the Phoenix side, Booker's been great. The last, 3 games, 71, 50, 43 fantasy points. He's flash out upside, even playing alongside Rubio. The price is up though, and like I said, this is a good spot for him. I just don't think he's like an amazing play. I don't have an issue if you land on him. I'm not going to be going out of my way to get Devin Booker in my lineups, though. Rubio, probably my favorite play here on the Phoenix side, just because he's a guy that doesn't have to score to get you there, right? 15, 13, 14 assists. This is an up-tempo game. He'll get 35 minutes in a close game. I think he's fairly priced with a little bit of upside. So I think Rubio, probably my favorite play there on the Phoenix side. Oubre, don't mind him. I think only for GPPs, though. Baines, I think he's going to be good to go. Yeah, he's probable. They limited his minutes. That kind of takes Saric and Kaminsky out of play. The secondary piece is not really for me. So that's kind of what I got in Phoenix. Rubio definitely being my favorite play there at 7.3K. Now we get to the main event here. So this is the game I want a lot of exposure to. It's still a 10-point spread, so there definitely is still a little bit of blowout risk, right? The Pelicans have not been good, but both teams played a really fast pace. Milwaukee is solid defensively. New Orleans, not so much. And they got, again, no Giannis. So on the Pelicans side, I like a decent amount here. We'll start with like two guys at the top. Brandon Ingram and Jrue Holiday, I think, are both underpriced. If this game stays close, I think both probably push 40 minutes. And I think that it has a better chance of staying close. So I really like Ingram. I really like Jrue Holiday at their respective prices. Now, if Milwaukee just takes it to the New Orleans and this game blows out, well, I'm going to lose, right? I'm putting a lot of exposure here into this game. So if it blows out, that's okay, right? I'll take my L and move on. But if this game stays close, man, I love Ingram. I love Jrue Holiday. Lonzo Ball, I think I would only go there if he starts. Coming out the bench, still got 30 minutes. I think he's an okay option, but really my main interest there is with Jrue and Ingram. The secondary pieces like JJ Redick at 4.6K, don't hate that. The minutes been somewhat limited for him though, 24 and only 21 minutes last couple of games. With no Favors, I thought Favors was going to go, but he's not, so he'll be out. So Jackson Hayes and Okafor are viable options. We'll see who they start. Whoever picks up the start out of more interest in. The concern is, again, they have both those bigs. They have like Melly they can give minutes to, and Milwaukee can go small ball too. So a little bit worried about those Pelicans bigs, right? I don't think the minutes are necessarily secure. Kenrich Williams, actually don't mind him at that price at 3.7. He's been playing consistent minutes, been a pretty low usage guy, but 3.7K is a fair price. And that's what I got for the Pelicans side. So really like Ingram, really like Jrue. Again, if the game blows out, I'm probably going to lose, but I am just banking on this game staying close, because if it does, I really think it's a gold mine here on both sides of the ball. On the Milwaukee side, so obviously, no Giannis Antetokounmpo. This is his first game he will miss this season. So that is just an absurd amount of usage and minutes to go around. Like in close games, he gets about 35 minutes. This is literally one of the best spots here. So love Middleton, love Bledsoe. This was literally the equation last year. If Giannis is out, you play both Middleton and Bledsoe, and you go from there. I will be doing the same here. I will be playing Middleton and Bledsoe together and moving on. I really don't think you can get cute about it. They're just way too cheap here at 6.46K. They're going to be super popular, but I will be eating the chalk with both of them tonight. Now let's talk about the secondary pieces. So Brook Lopez at 4.9. He's probably the one guy I'm not super excited about on the Pelicans side or on the Bucks side. Both teams again can run small ball. I just don't see him playing huge minutes, really. I think he gets about 25. He's an okay option, but I'm not going out of my way to play Brook Lopez. No, a guy like Dante DiVincenzo could possibly pick up a start here. He's a guy that the minutes will go up, right? Those Giannis minutes do have to go somewhere. The Bucks do have a lot of guys they can give minutes to, which is somewhat of a concern. But, with Middleton out, DiVincenzo was getting about 25 to 30-ish minutes. Again, this is a really up-tempo game, so I do have some interest here in Dante DiVincenzo at that price at 4K. Could look to Connaughton 2 or 3.6. He wasn't getting as many minutes, but he's still a guy you can consider. Again, I think I would be a little bit more confident in DiVincenzo. George Hill, I think those minutes go up a little bit for him. I think he gets around 20, maybe 25. So he's another guy that I think is very much in play here. Wes Matthews, not so much for me. He's just too scoring dependent. I don't think... It's just not someone I would feel comfortable playing with or playing. I would feel much more comfortable playing guys like George Hill and DiVincenzo. And then Ersan Ilyasova here at 3.4. So he plays a lot of just backup Giannis. So my best guess is he's going to pick up the start here. Let's see. I'm just checking Fantasy Lab, seeing if I get any more information. No, nothing more. So we don't have the starting lineup yet. This is a later game, so we might not get it for a little bit. My best guess is Ersan starts. And if Ersan starts, I will be playing him 100%. If he doesn't start, I think he's a little bit riskier of an option, but I still think he probably gets around 20 minutes. If he starts, I think he gets 25 or so minutes. So, yeah, if he starts, I will be playing Ersan Ilyasova. If he doesn't, I would feel a little bit worried about it. But again, 3.4K, he's a guy that doesn't have to do a whole lot to get you there, and he's a guy that's pretty productive when he gets minutes. So whenever we can project Ersan to get more minutes, that's definitely a big boost to him, obviously. Robin Lopez, don't think I have to go there. Sterling Brown, that's pushing it a little bit. I mean, his minutes will go up, but don't know if I would take a shot there. DJ Wilson maybe gets a little extra run, but yeah, I still wouldn't feel great about that. Kyle Korver might get a few more minutes. So that is the concern with these secondary pieces, is they do have a lot of other guys they can give minutes to. So, I don't think DiVincenzo and George Hill are going to go out and play 30 minutes, but I think they both get a boost. I think they both get an extra 5 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more. So, yeah, that's what I got for the Milwaukee side. Again, I want to load up here. Love Middleton, Bledsoe. I love Ersan if he starts. George Hill, DiVincenzo. Those are the other guys I'm really looking at. Maybe Connaughton too. But all in all, I really want to get a lot of exposure to this Milwaukee side, especially with Bledsoe and with Middleton. Again, I know they're going to be super popular. I will be eating the chalk with them. Last couple games here, OKC, Sacramento. So on the OKC side, it's honestly a complete fade for me. Sacramento has been really played at the slowest pace right now. They've been solid defensively. I just don't have any interest in here. Chris Paul, SGA, Adams, Gallinari, Schroeder, all are priced fair, but it's a bad spot, and on this slate, no one stands out. So I will be completely fading OKC. On the Sacramento side, we do have some news to wait for here with Marvin Bagley, and if he's going to be on a minutes limit. If he's not, then I like him a good amount at this price. If he is, I'll probably look elsewhere. With Bagley coming back, that's a hit to everyone, right? Holmes' minutes will go down. Bielitsa's minutes will go down. Bogdan's okay at that price, but his usage will go down. Buddy Hield, again, his usage will go down as well. I still think he plays big minutes, but not as good of a player anymore. So really my main interest is in Bagley if he's not going to be limited. If he is going to be limited, don't have a whole lot of interest in the Sacramento side. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here for the Kings. Last game of the night is the Knicks and the Warriors. So I put my trust in the Knicks keeping it close against the Blazers last night. Obviously didn't work out, right? They got completely blown out. But Randall, still in 26 minutes, had 30 fantasy points. So he was on pace to have a really big game, right? If he gets his 35 minutes, he probably gets 45 or so fantasy points. So Randall, this is a good spot against Golden State. Again, the game blew out, so he didn't play huge minutes last night. So I still have some interest here in Julius Randle. And this game should stay close. It's two really, really bad teams. So I still have some interest there at Randle at 6.5K. Morris and Barrett are okay, but I would prefer Randle. Mitchell Robinson, too risky for me on this 11-game slate. Bobby Portis, I guess you don't hate him there, 3.6, right? He was a value guy I liked last night, 20 minutes, 28 fantasy points. But that's what I got for the Knicks. Really, my main interest here is Julius Randle at that price at 6.5K. On the Golden State side, there is a couple interesting pieces here with D'Angelo Russell and with Draymond Green. Now, Draymond Green, Steve Kerr said he's going to be on like a 27 minutes limit, but obviously that didn't hold true for the last couple games, 30 and 33 the last couple games. So if he's going to continue to get minutes into the 30s, I do have some interest here at 5.8. It's a decent spot here against the Knicks. He's the guy that fills up the stat sheet. So don't mind Draymond there. D'Angelo Russell finally got the minutes into the mid-30s, right? 34 minutes. He had a really bad shooting night. But the thing is, we know if he's going to play those mid-30s minutes, he'll probably shoot the ball 15 to 20 times, maybe a little bit more. So I do have some interest there in D'Angelo Russell as well. The secondary pieces, not for me. There's too many bodies now. I know Alec Burks had a good game, but I will not be chasing that 41 fantasy point game. My main interest there is with Russell and with Draymond Green. And yeah, that's what I got here. Again, let me check, see if we ain't got any more news here for Fantasy Labs. Let's see. Clippers, Beverly, Leonard, George, Harkless, Zubac. Amon Shumpert available to play. Looks like that's what I got here. All right, so let's do it. Let's get to some questions. Dinwiddie or Rubio, I have the cash for both. I like both those options. I think I like the upside a little bit more with Dinwiddie, so if you can get to him, I guess go Dinwiddie. But I think both are pretty good options there for cash. I'm playing this Bucks game heavy for cash, or heavy. Yes, I am as well. if it blows out, I'm just going to take the L and move on. But if that game stays close, I love it for the Pelicans side. I love it for Bledsoe and Middleton. I think some of those cheap guys as well. I'll hit that thumbs up. Yeah, if you guys enjoy the content, again, would appreciate it if you guys could hit that like button. Jabari plus Holiday or Graham plus Jaylen Brown for cash. I'll go Jabari and Holiday. I'm not super excited about Jabari, but I really like Drew Holiday at his price. PG-13, Norman Powell or Lowry and Beverly. I'll go PG-13 and Powell. I'm not super excited about Beverly. I do like Lowry a good amount, but I think I like PG-13 and Norman Powell better there. Lowry or Drew? Well, I think that's tough for me at least because I have both in my lineup. I think Drew is in the better overall spot. So I guess Drew, but I like both a good amount. I think both are pretty safe. Lowry is maybe a little bit more safe because that game should stay close. There is some blowout risk still with, the Pelicans. So that's a really tough call for me. OG Anunoby or DeAndre Hunter? I'm not super excited. I guess I'll go DeAndre Hunter at that price. I wouldn't expect 40 from him again, but if he's going to continue to play like 35 plus minutes at 4.3K, I think he's a decent option. Graham, Jalen, okay. Miles Turner or Ingles at utility. I would go Joe Ingles there. I don't trust Miles Turner right now. They've been closing games with Sabonis at the 5 and not even playing Turner. I would go Joe Ingles there. Best mid 5K play. Mid 5K, let's see. So we have the mid fives here. Let's see, Satoransky at 5.7 for GPPs. I like that. Joe Ingles here, 5.3. If we're talking cash, I think he's a pretty safe cash option in an up-tempo game against Minnesota. Norman Powell even at 5.2. Yeah, I would go Joe Ingles there at 5.3K. Do we need Russ or Harden today? I don't think so. I'm really scared of the blowout. The Cavs have not been able to keep a game close in a long time. So, yeah. You can play those guys for GPPs, for cash games. I'm not going close to that game. Ja or Graham? If price doesn't matter, I'll go Graham because he's going to play more minutes. 2v2 decision, Middleton and Ingles or Ingram and DiVincenzo. I think I'm going to go Ingram and DiVincenzo, though. I like both options, but I love the upside there in Ingram. I'm guessing you already have Bledsoe, too. I don't know, though. Fading Middleton is so risky. I think the safer option is Middleton and Ingles. I think the GPP option is Ingram and DiVincenzo there. SGA or Gallinari, Nader, Yogi Ferrell. I don't think we have to go with those guys, really. I guess I'll go SGA there. Yogi and Nader I wouldn't touch. So, yeah, between SGA and Gallinari, but I do not like the OKC guys tonight. 3,900 guard. Let's see. You could look to Caruso there if Rondo doesn't play. George Hill at 3.5K. I probably feel the safest about that. If Rondo doesn't play, you could look to Caruso, but I think George Hill probably gets 20, maybe 25 in a close game. So I think I'd feel the most comfortable with him there at that price. Knicks and Golden State, a good stack to fade the Milwaukee and New Orleans for GPP. Yeah, that's going to be a really low-owned game. Again, my favorite play being Randall, but I like D'Angelo Russell and Draymond on the other side. So, yeah, I think that's a very viable option for GPPs. Kobe White or Jackson Hayes. I'll go Kobe White for GPPs. If Okafor starts, I wouldn't have a whole lot of interest in Hayes. Rubio, Mitchell, or Ingram, which two? I will go Ingram and I'll go Ingram and Rubio there. That I do like all three of those guys. Play 2 between Gobert, Sabonis, and Randall. Again, if price doesn't matter, I'll go Gobert and Sabonis. If price does matter, then yeah, I do like Randall. So yeah, I don't know. If price doesn't matter, go Gobert and Sabonis, but I still like Randall at a discounted price as well. Still no Rondo news. I don't think so. At least I haven't seen it yet. Which I think that game starts. Isn't that game starting in 8 minutes? Isn't that an early game? I think that is an early game. Yeah, it is. And unless I'm missing it, I still see it as a game time decision, which is somewhat unfortunate for us. So we might not get that news before lock. So it's obviously a really risky target if you're going to try and play Alex Caruso. Ilya Silva or Osman. I would definitely go Ersan if he starts, but I don't think we're going to get that news before the Cleveland game locks. I think Ersan's probably the safer bet either way, just because there's huge blowout risk. Let's see, Bogda or Harris? Bogda? Are you talking about Bogdan? I'm guessing maybe. Let's see. Harris is 5.6, right? Talking about Joe Harris. Yeah, let me know who you're talking about with the other guy between Harris and PJ Tucker or Ingles. Who's your fave? I would definitely go Ingles there. The blowout really scares me for the Houston side. Levine or Mitchell? I like the upside a little bit more with Levine. So if you're going upside, go Levine. I think Mitchell, though, is a pretty solid cash game play. Gobert and Middleton or Bledsoe and Siakam. I'll go Gobert and Middleton there. Sorry I missed what you said on Kawhi. Favorite spend up, if not on him. Kawhi's okay option. My favorite spend up is... I don't know, because I'm not playing anyone like above like 8K. So of these guys, yeah, I think Kawhi at 8.7. I think it's a revenge game narrative. He's going to get over 30 minutes. This game should stay close. So probably Kawhi, but I'm really sticking to the mid-tier today. Let's see. Princeton or OG Anunoby? Who's Princeton? Cheap GPP center, Hayes, Okafor, or Noel. Well, I would prefer whoever starts for the Pelicans with Hayes and Okafor. Noel's an okay option too. Again, I don't mind those Charlotte bigs too with Cody Zeller and Biyombo. I think they have to play the 48 minutes combined because Brooklyn always has Jared Allen or DeAndre Jordan out there. So Cody Zeller and Biyombo are viable options as well. But between those three, I would probably go with whoever starts for the Pelicans. Sabonis or Siakam. Yeah, I'll go Sabonis there. Gobert or Siakam. Another tough call. I like the upside, or I like the matchup a little bit more with Gobert, so I'll go Gobert. I think Ersan starts. I think there's a decent chance he does. Yeah, I think it's about a 50% chance he starts. Just because he has been playing a lot of the backup, 4 to Giannis. So I think there is a good chance that he does start. If he does start, I think he's the best value play. Let's see. Sabonis or Siakam again. I think I prefer Sabonis. That's a really close call. Both are going to play big minutes. Both are in not necessarily the best spots, but I will go Sabonis there. What do you think about stacking Pascal and Kawhi, then stacking the New Orleans Pelicans game? Yeah, that's a very viable option. I have no issue with that. I think that's a pretty safe option. Again, we know Pascal is going to play huge minutes. We know Kawhi will get over 30 in a close game. And the Pelicans-Bucks game just really stands out as a game you want some exposure to. Josh Hart or Augustine? I'll go Augustine there. I think he gets around 30 minutes against a really tough spot, but he should get a few more minutes there. For cash, Satoransky, RJ Barrett, or Saric. What were Saric's minutes last game? $32. Yeah, it's probably Sarge for cash. I like the upside more with Satoransky, but the minutes somewhat concern me because they've been a bit up and down. I don't have a whole lot of faith in RJ Barrett, so probably Sarge there. Can you play Powell and OG together? Can you play them? You can. They both will get more minutes with Fred VanVleet out, right? Fred VanVleet playing about 40 minutes, so Powell will probably get about 30, maybe 32. OG has been getting like 35 or so. It's again, not necessarily the best spot, so I wouldn't like go crazy and play everyone on the Toronto side, but I think you can play Powell and OG together. Bogdanovich on the Utah or Joe Harris. I don't really like either of those guys. Both are too scoring dependent for me, at least for my liking. Both are in good spots though. I'll go Bojan Bogdanovich, but I really don't feel great targeting those guys because they have to score to get you there. Let's see. Okay, let me check Twitter. We only got 2 minutes to lock, so. Check, make sure my lineup's good to go. We're all set. Yep, I can go over some ownership too in the first game as well, guys. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna get that Rondo news, so you really can't target Caruso in my opinion. Yeah. What do you think about Donovan Mitchell? I think he stands out as a pretty solid play at 7.4K. I like him. I like Joe Ingles, and I like Rudy Gobert, all in a good spot against Minnesota. So I think he's a good option at 7.4K. Eric and Middleton together, yes. I think that's going to be really popular. I will be playing both. It's just an amazing spot with no Giannis. That was the equation last year, right? I talked about it. If there's no Giannis, you play Bledsoe and Middleton, you move on. And again, I will be doing that tonight as well. So yes, I definitely think you play both together. I think both can be really popular, but I will be eating the chalk on them tonight. Let's see. Ibaka or Zeller? I will go Cody Zeller there. Again, I think these Charlotte bigs with him and Biyombo have to play the 48 minutes. So I think Cody Zeller, if he stays out of foul trouble, maybe it's 25 or so. Ibaka is... Let's see, how many minutes did he play last game? 19, right? So there are games where he will get extended a bit, but I think most of the time he gets around 20 or so. So I would feel, I think I would feel a little bit more confident with Cody Zeller actually. Cat or Davis? I will go Anthony Davis there. I have one lineup stacking New Orleans, Milwaukee with Cat Ingles. Perfectly fine with that. I play Jonathan Isaac because I'm a psycho. What's Jonathan Isaac's price? He's pretty cheap now. 6.2. I mean, the Lakers run big. He probably gets big minutes if he stays close. Just not. I don't think that was a cash game play, but I guess I don't hate that for GPPs. Levine, Dinwiddie, or D'Angelo. I think Dinwiddie's probably the safest of those three. But I think all three are pretty viable options. I have interest in all three. Kaminsky or Zeller? I will go Zeller there. Kaminsky got pretty limited in that last game, I think. with Baines back at only 10 minutes, so I will definitely go with Cody Zeller there. Yeah, let me go over some ownership here from the early game. I can tell you guys who I played. I think I played two pretty low-owned guys, at least for cash games. We'll see. Let's look at this $50 tournament. Okay, never mind. Kyle Lowry, 53%. I do not think Lowry is going to be that popular, but he is. I got Sabonis at 17%. So that's what I got in the early games. Again, I basically have those two and then a stack of the Pelicans and the Bucks game. C.D. Osman, 16%. James Harden, 4%. I'm just looking at some ownership here. Siakam at 30%. Again, don't mind that. Let's see if I can find like Kawhi. Kawhi Leonard, 17%. OG Anunoby, 3%. Again, this is all in the $50 tournament. Augustine, 7%. LeBron, 2%. So let's look at some cash game ownership. Let me go to this $10 double up. I got Lowry at 71%, Sabonis at 18%. So looks like a lot of people had the same idea with Lowry. I didn't think he'd be that high owned, but he is. Let me look at the $12 tournament. Lowry is only 31%. So that's pretty interesting, right? The low dollar tournaments, Kyle Lowry is pretty low owned compared to the high dollar ones where he's pretty heavily owned. Yeah, like I said, that's what I got. I got Lowry and Sabonis in the early game, and basically stacking Milwaukee and the Pelicans. Sabonis easy. Sabonis 11%. Yeah, I mean, I really think he's a pretty safe option as price. There were other options like Siakam at a similar price, Paul George. I think all three were pretty close for me. I think I like the upside a little bit more with Sabonis. Satoransky, Barrett, or Saric for cash. I can fit all of them in. Again, I think I might have answered that. I think Saric is probably the safest option, but I think Satoransky has the most upside. So Saric, again, I'm not going out of my way to play him, but of those three, I think he's probably the safest option. But I like the upside the most with Satoransky. So again, I think it's Saric for cash, even though I'm not super excited about that. But yeah, that's basically it. So let's see. I think I'm gonna hop off here, guys. If you don't follow me on Twitter, that is important. That is in the description below. I will give my thoughts as we get news throughout the rest of the night. Again, we're still waiting on the Bucks starting lineup. If they start Ersan, I love them. If not, I mean, I'll be still a little bit worried, but still think he's a solid value play. There's other value guys I've talked about, DiVincenzo, George Hill. All in all, though, I want a lot of exposure to that game. But yeah, that is it. So I think I'm going to hop off here, guys. I appreciate all you guys coming to check out the live stream. I will be back for another video to break down the Thursday NBA slate. I'll probably have that up later tonight, as well as the showdown slate for Thursday for NFL. So thanks again for everyone to check out or come check out the live stream, and I will see you guys